Hello, everyone. Today we'll dive into the shocking story of Rick Harrison. At 60 years old, Rick has confirmed the truth about his son's life sentence. From a small family business to a global television phenomenon, Pawn Stars is now engulfed in scandal. Join us as we explore the heartbreaking rise and fall of Rick Harrison and the devastating impact it has had on his family. Rick Harrison no longer hides the truth. His son's life sentence was inevitable. Once a successful pawn shop family, the Harrisons were once seen as a model of achievement. But now, after everything, that empire has completely crumbled. Let's take a look at why their career ended in tragedy. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on the latest developments in the tragic story of the Harrison family. What do you think about what has happened to Rick Harrison and his son? Share your thoughts in the comments below the video. In a shocking turn of events that has left fans of the popular Discovery Channel show Alaskan Bush, people reeling, Noah Brown, the second-born son of the family known for his creative and thoughtful personality, has received some bad news that could change his life completely. The 31-year-old man, who was previously described as the intellectual of the family with a passion for inventions and deep thinking, now faces a personal crisis that is shaking the entire Brown family. Sources from the production team revealed that Noah recently received a troubling medical diagnosis after several months of worrying symptoms that he initially thought were due to the harsh conditions of living in the wilderness. After suffering from prolonged fatigue, unexplained weight loss, and recurring pain, Noah eventually went for an examination at the suggestion of his wife, Rain Alicia. While the diagnosis remains kept private at the family's request, it is said to be serious enough to require Noah to leave the remote mountain home in Washington, known as North Star Ranch, to seek specialized treatment that could not be provided in such an isolated location. Leaving the wild lifestyle that has shaped the Brown family's identity for generations is a huge shock to a family so tightly bonded, one that fans have followed for over a decade. Billy Brown, Noah's father and the family patriarch, who led them through their adventures in Alaska and later Washington, will surely be devastated by this news, especially after Billy passed away in February 2021 from a seizure at the age of 68. The Brown family is still struggling to maintain unity and purpose after this great loss, and Noah's diagnosis is yet another devastating blow to a family still healing from the loss of their guiding father. Noah has always approached problems differently from his siblings. According to a crew member, while others may tackle challenges in the wilderness through strength or traditional skills, Noah was the one to come up with creative solutions that no one else thought of. His mindset was a key factor in helping the family adapt to new challenges. Fans of Alaskan Bush people have watched Noah grow from an oddball teenager with unique hobbies into an adult, getting married and becoming a father, all while maintaining his distinctive approach to life in the wild and embracing his family responsibilities. Noah and his wife, Rain Alicia, along with their sons Elijah, Connor, and Adam, have become a key part of the Brown family's narrative on television. Rain Alicia, who has always stood by Noah through past challenges, including the devastating wildfires that ravaged much of the family's property in Washington in 2020, is reportedly showing the same resilience in this new crisis. Sources describe her as a solid support system, keeping Noah steady as they face this tough time together while trying to maintain normalcy for their young children. Noah and Rain have always maintained a degree of independence within the Brown family, according to a production source. They were the first to build their own home on the family's land, showing their desire to create a private space while still staying connected to the larger family. This independence may prove invaluable as they face the challenge of temporarily stepping away from their life in the wilderness. The rest of the Brown family has rallied around Noah in their own unique ways, reflecting their personalities and relationships with him. Noah's mother, Amy Brown, who fought a battle with terminal lung cancer in 2017, an ordeal chronicled on the show, has been especially supportive. She draws on her own experience with a life-threatening diagnosis to offer comfort and guidance. Amy knows better than anyone in the family the significance of facing such a diagnosis, according to a family friend. Her battle with cancer forced the family to leave Alaska and move closer to medical facilities in California, an experience that profoundly changed the Brown family. Amy's strength during that time continues to inspire everyone as they now support Noah. Noah's siblings have reacted in their own ways, based on their personalities and their relationships with him. Bear Brown, famous for his extreme energy and self-proclaimed title of King of Extremes, has channeled his energy into practical help, assisting Rain with caring for the kids and taking over Noah's projects on the land. Gabe Brown, who has a close bond with Noah and is often featured on the show, is reportedly deeply affected by his brother's diagnosis. The two brothers have frequently worked together on projects, with Gabe's physical strength complementing Noah's technical expertise. Rain Brown, the youngest sister who has grown into a thoughtful woman before the viewer's eyes, is now focused on providing emotional support, spending time with Noah's children to help maintain their connection to the larger family during this uncertain time. Bird Brown, who has always exhibited strong maternal instincts, has taken on the role of caregiving, ensuring that everyone is looked after as they face this difficult news. Bam Brown, often regarded as the most practical of the siblings, has been handling logistical matters, researching treatment options, and coordinating with medical professionals. Matt Brown, the eldest son, who has been estranged from the family in recent years due to personal struggles and addiction, reached out to Noah upon hearing about his diagnosis. Though their relationship remains complicated due to Matt's distance from the family, sources say this crisis has provided an opportunity for healing in their fractured relationship. The Brown family has faced numerous challenges throughout their time in the public eye, from losing their original home in Alaska to Amy's cancer battle, from destructive wildfires to Billy's sudden death. Each crisis has tested their family motto, Extreme North Together Forever, facing every challenge as a united force. Noah's diagnosis is the next challenge in this ongoing series of trials, redefining what it means to live in the wilderness for the wolf pack, as they call themselves. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos about Rick Harrison's life. What are your thoughts on the downfall of the Harrison family? Share your opinions in the comments below. The Brown family is not just about surviving in the wilderness, according to a longtime producer of the show. What viewers love about them is their commitment to facing adversity together, adapting, and overcoming challenges as a family unit. That's exactly what's happening now. They are adapting to support Noah through something that cannot be solved with creative inventions or physical strength alone. Noah's health crisis is particularly poignant because it comes at a transitional time for the family and the show after Billy's death. The family has been searching for a new purpose and direction, with some members pursuing personal projects while trying to maintain the shared vision Billy had for their mountain home. Noah's condition forces them to reassess their priorities once again, considering which aspects of their lifestyle are truly essential and which ones need to change to accommodate health treatment needs. Billy always taught us that living in the wild isn't just about where you live, but how you live. with freedom, independence, and family at the center, Noah said in a recent episode filmed before his diagnosis. Sometimes, that means making tough decisions to protect what matters most. These words now carry a new meaning as Noah and his family face difficult decisions regarding treatment plans and their future. Discovery Channel has not made an official statement regarding Noah's condition or how it might affect filming of future episodes, although production sources say the network has been supportive and is ready to adjust filming schedules and locations to accommodate Noah's medical needs. The Brown family has always been open about sharing their personal struggles with the audience, believing that their experiences can help those facing similar situations. The show is at its strongest when it showcases the real difficulties the family faces, according to a TV critic who has followed the show since its early days. While some critics have questioned their lifestyle or the authenticity of what they present, no one can deny that the Brown family has shared genuine human experiences, love, loss, illness, and recovery, things everyone can relate to, no matter where they live or how they live. Medical experts who are not involved in Noah's care but are familiar with the challenges of managing serious health conditions in remote areas say the Brown family now has to balance living off the grid with the need for regular medical care, which can be quite challenging. Dr. Meredith Chen, a rural medicine expert, explains, "Living off the grid can be particularly difficult when someone needs frequent medical care. Depending on the condition, there are factors to consider such as access to electricity for medical devices, storing medications in a refrigerator, and proximity to emergency services. These factors often force families to make tough decisions when they are committed to living in remote areas." For Noah, whose identity is tied to his mechanical creativity and ability to find solutions for living in the wilderness, this health crisis is not just a physical challenge but also a personal one. His inventions, from homemade hunting tools to elaborate shower systems, have showcased his unique approach to life in the wild. Now he is facing a challenge that requires him to relinquish some control and independence, accepting help from medical professionals and family in ways that may feel at odds with the spirit of self-sufficiency in wilderness living. Noah has always been a thinker, someone who needs to understand how everything works, according to a crew member who has worked closely with him. That's both his strength and his challenge in this situation. He's researching everything about his condition, wanting to understand every detail of the treatment process. But he's also learning to recognize that some things cannot be solved with perfect inventions or clever solutions. Rain Alicia, who joined the Brown family as an outsider but has now become an essential part of their story, is currently navigating multiple roles, supporting her husband through treatment, caring for their young children during a stressful time, and maintaining relationships with the larger Brown family, which has its own complex dynamics. Her background, which includes living in more conventional environments before joining the Brown family's wilderness lifestyle, provides a valuable perspective as the family faces this health crisis. Rain brings a different perspective to the family, said a member of the production crew. She respects the lifestyle in the wild, but she's not defined by it in the way the Brown family has been. That outsider perspective can be really valuable when the family needs to consider alternatives to their usual ways. The Brown family's faith, which has been referenced occasionally on the show, especially through Ami's comments about divine guidance during difficult times, is believed to play an important role in how they're facing Noah's diagnosis. The family has always maintained a spiritual connection with nature, seeing their way of life as in harmony with divine intention. Now, they are drawing upon those spiritual resources to seek meaning and purpose in this new challenge. For fans of Alaskan bush people, who have followed the Brown family through many stages of change, Noah's health crisis represents another development in the family story. The show, which began as a documentary about a family living in the wilds of Alaska, has gradually evolved into a larger chronicle of family relationships tested by harsh circumstances. Noah's situation continues this narrative thread, challenging the Brown family's bush lifestyle principles when faced with modern medical needs. The show has never been just about isolation from the modern world, as explained by a television producer who has worked on similar reality shows. It's about a family making intentional choices about how they interact with modern society, what they accept and what they reject. Noah's health situation is forcing them to make new choices, new compromises, but not necessarily in conflict with their core values of self-determination and family unity. As Noah undergoes treatment, the family is reportedly trying to incorporate elements of their wilderness lifestyle into his medical journey. Bear has gathered natural materials to decorate Noah's treatment room, while Bird is preparing traditional remedies to supplement his medical care. Gabe has set up a workshop space so Noah can continue working on small creative projects during his treatment whenever his health allows. Maintaining a connection to his creative identity is crucial. The Brown family has always been adaptable, which is how they've survived in harsh environments, according to a wildlife expert who has advised the show. They are applying that adaptability to this situation, finding ways to maintain their bonds with each other and their values, even when circumstances require them to temporarily live in a more conventional setting. For those who have followed the Brown family's journey over the years, Noah's health crisis represents a new chapter in a story that has consistently highlighted themes of resilience, adaptation, and enduring family relationships. While the specific nature of his diagnosis remains private, the broader narrative of facing adversity with courage and the support of family continues the tradition that has made Alaskan bush people more than just a show about surviving in the wild. What keeps viewers engaged is not just the novelty of their lifestyle, as noted by a network executive familiar with the production. It's the raw emotion in their family relationships, how they face challenges together. Their way of dealing with challenges resonates with viewers from all walks of life. Noah's situation, while deeply personal, taps into universal human experiences of vulnerability, care, and searching for meaning in difficult circumstances. As the Brown family faces this trying time, their story continues to evolve, proving their ability to confront any hardship through love and unity. The identity of the bush people they've cultivated is not just defined by geography or survival skills, but by a philosophy of facing life's challenges with creativity, mutual dependence, and unwavering loyalty to family. For Noah, who has always been more introspective and somewhat separate from his siblings, this health journey may reveal new depths of strength and resilience, aligning with the family's values, even if it requires temporary separation from their mountain home. The Alaskan Bush People production team is reportedly working closely with the family to determine whether and how to incorporate Noah's health journey into upcoming episodes, while also respecting the family's privacy and the authentic storytelling that has become a hallmark of the show. Whatever direction is taken for the future of the show, Noah's situation has fundamentally shifted the dynamics of the Brown family in ways that will undoubtedly impact the broader narrative going forward. The Harrison family situation on Pawn Stars is also shocking. The founder of the multi-million-dollar empire surrounding the family's pawn shop has confirmed troubling rumors about his son. His son has been sentenced to life in prison, plunging the Harrison family into a severe crisis. The Harrison family empire, once a foundation of reality television, is now facing its darkest chapter in history. The Pawn Stars empire, once unstoppable, is now teetering on the brink of collapse. Stay tuned as the truth behind this devastating family tragedy is revealed, and what's to come will leave even the most loyal fans stunned. The fall of a Vegas empire. Rick Harrison, now 59, is drowning in an ongoing family storm and legal nightmares. Initial rumors about his son's legal troubles have escalated into a full-blown crisis, threatening everything he has built. The gold and silver pawn shop, once a major tourist attraction, is now nearly empty as the family name becomes synonymous with scandal rather than savvy deals. Just when things couldn't seem worse, they spiral even further. In the shadow of a collapsing empire, the question remains, how much did Rick know? And when did he know about this situation? Before becoming a household name, Richard Kevin Harrison was just an ordinary salesperson in Las Vegas, trying to make a living. Born in Lexington, North Carolina, Rick moved to Las Vegas as a teenager with his parents. His father, Richard, also known as Old Man Harrison, opened a gold and silver coin shop in 1981, a simple operation just enough to get by. "We were very poor back then," Rick often recalls in interviews. "There were months when we couldn't even pay the electricity, and my dad had to sit in the dark with a flashlight counting coins just to pay rent." The shift from selling coins to pawnbroking was more of a necessity than a vision. After their coin shop was broken into and insurance didn't cover the losses, the family had to find a new direction. They obtained a pawn license in 1989 and moved to Las Vegas Boulevard, where the famous gold and silver pawn shop was born. For nearly 2 decades, the Harrison family operated in silence, building a reputation with locals for fair deals and deep historical knowledge. Rick taught himself to understand everything from Civil War swords to classic pinball machines. "I read from 3 to 5 hours a day," Rick explained in a 2010 interview. "I'm not a naturally smart person. I just work harder than everyone else. While others are partying, I'm researching the difference between a real and fake Paul Riv silver item." The family's journey changed forever in 2009 when History Channel decided to experiment with a pawn shop family like no other. Pawn Stars premiered with modest expectations but quickly became a ratings phenomenon, attracting over 7 million viewers per episode at its peak. The show's winning formula combined history lessons and family dynamics. Rick's straightforward business sense, son Cory's ambitious negotiations, and the humor of friend Austin Chumley made for the perfect reality TV trio. The wisdom of Old Man added generational depth, attracting viewers across various age groups and demographics. "We never thought we would become famous," Rick admitted in a special celebrating the 10th anniversary of the show. "We thought we might have 1 or 2 seasons, make a little money, and then go back to normal life, but everything changed completely." And indeed, within just 3 years of the show's debut, the struggling pawn shop had earned over $20 million annually just from merchandise sales. The pawn shop expanded from 1,800 square feet to 15,000 square feet, serving over 4,000 customers daily. Rick's personal net worth increased to an estimated $9 million. The Harrison brand expanded into books, speaking engagements, and spin-off shows. Rick capitalized on his newfound fame to open Pawn Plaza, a shopping container park right next to the pawn shop, which included restaurants and retail stores. His autobiography, Licensed to Pawn, became a New York Times bestseller. Despite the cameras and crowds of tourists, the gold and silver pawn shop continued to maintain its family-run operation, spanning 3 generations. Richard "Old Man" Harrison held 51% of the shares until his death in 2018, while Rick was the one running the business and the public face of the operation. Rick's son, Cory "Big Hoss" Harrison, began working at the counter as a child, truly growing up in the pawn business. When the show came around, Cory took on much of the day-to-day management, although his father still tightly controlled major decisions. "My dad's teaching style was to throw you in the deep end and see if you swim," Cory once explained. "When I was 9, he made me appraise jewelry. If I was wrong, the money came out of my allowance." Rick's younger son, Adam, mostly stayed behind the scenes, and occasionally appeared in early episodes before deciding to pursue interests outside the family business. The show rarely mentioned him, creating the impression that Cory was Rick's only son, which later caused tension within the family. The chemistry between the family members was not entirely scripted. Rick's vast knowledge genuinely impressed viewers, while Cory's efforts to modernize the business created authentic generational conflict. Old Man Harrison's frugality was not an act. Employees confirmed that he would turn off lights in rooms even while filming to save electricity. The success of the show not only changed the Harrison family business, but also the lives of countless individuals featured on screen. Local experts who once appraised items for modest fees became celebrities in their own right. Danny the Count Coker turned his motorcycle expertise into a spin-off show counting cars, while toy expert Johnny Janez opened a successful vintage toy store at Pawn Plaza. The show's impact was even more far-reaching. Rick became a sought-after speaker on entrepreneurship, earning $30,000 per speaking engagement. Cory bought a mansion in the upscale Summerlin community and built a luxury car collection. Chumley, previously a minimum-wage counterstaff member, became a millionaire with his own product line. The show also changed lives by focusing on history. Book curator Rebecca Romney, who appeared as a rare books expert on the show, received thousands of messages from viewers inspired to explore literature. People wrote that they had never cared about books until they saw a $20,000 book on the show. Suddenly, they visited libraries and read classic works. Perhaps the most meaningful impact were the stories behind the family's items brought to the shop. Vietnam War veteran Michael Sandoval came in with his father's Purple Heart medal, not to sell it, but to share its story on national television. "My dad never talked about his service," Sandoval said tearfully. For Rick to authenticate his medal and tell his story on national television meant more than any amount of money. As Pawn Stars entered its second decade on the air, cracks began to show in the carefully maintained Harrison family image. The first signs of trouble appeared in 2015 when Cory was arrested for assault after a bar fight in Michigan. Although the charges were dropped, the incident exposed a previously undisclosed pattern of irritable behavior. Chumley's legal troubles escalated in 2016 when police searched his home during an investigation into sexual assault allegations. While the assault claims were unfounded, authorities discovered illegal weapons and drugs, leading to 3 years of probation and causing severe damage to the family-friendly reputation of the show. Behind the scenes, tensions between Rick and Cory grew over business decisions and profit sharing. In Season 15, viewers noticed fewer scenes featuring both of them together, with Rick and Cory often filming on different days. Production staff leaked information about heated arguments they continued to have even after the cameras stopped rolling. The death of Richard Old Man Harrison in 2018 removed the stabilizing father figure from the family, and his will revealed unexpected family conflicts as he explicitly excluded one of his sons, Christopher Keith Harrison, with the statement, "I wish to express my love and affection for Christopher Keith Harrison, however, for the purposes of this will, I intentionally and with full knowledge do not provide for him or his descendants." This public revelation of family discord signaled a greater crisis within the Harrison family. Signs of more serious legal trouble began to surface in early 2022 when Cory Harrison abruptly disappeared from filming midway through the season. The show offered no explanation, simply continuing with Rick and Chumley taking over the episodes. Fan forums buzzed with speculation, but the Harrison family remained tight-lipped. TMZ later reported after 3 months that Cory Harrison had been arrested on multiple serious charges, initially drug trafficking and weapons possession, but court records remained sealed, fueling even more speculation. Rick issued a statement requesting privacy while the family dealt with the difficult situation. As weeks passed, more troubling details began to emerge. Federal prosecutors were building a case against Cory for allegedly using the pawn shop's infrastructure to distribute controlled substances across states. The investigation appeared to have been ongoing for years, with former employees cooperating as confidential witnesses. The most shocking part was the claims that this criminal organization had operated partly in the open, with cryptic transactions appearing in episodes that contained veiled references to illegal activities. Fan pages began to rewatch older episodes meticulously, searching for clues they might have missed. Rick publicly defended his son's innocence, while the History Channel suspended the production of new episodes. Viewership for reruns plummeted as sponsors withdrew. The gold and silver pawn shop saw a 70% drop in tourist traffic, forcing it to lay off longtime employees. The trial began in September 2022 amidst unprecedented public backlash. Court TV bought the rights to air the trial, and a temporary media camp surrounded the federal courthouse. Rick attended court every day, looking visibly worn out, the stress causing him to appear much older. Evidence presented by the prosecutors painted a damaging picture. Financial records showed unclear cash flow through shell companies linked to Cory, while surveillance footage recorded after-hours meetings with individuals later identified as notorious drug dealers. The most damning evidence came from former shop employees who claimed to have known about the illegal activities as far back as 2017. The defense attorney argued that Cory was being targeted because of his fame, and that the evidence was purely speculative. They claimed he had been set up by disgruntled former employees looking for revenge or financial gain through future civil lawsuits. Character witnesses, including childhood friends and charity organizations, testified about his generosity and contributions to the community. The most dramatic moment of the trial came when federal prosecutors called Rick Harrison to testify. He invoked the Fifth Amendment, refusing to answer questions about whether he knew about his son's activities. His silence left a strong impression on the jury, though legal analysts debated whether it indicated guilt or was simply a father's attempt to protect his son. After 6 weeks of trial and 3 days of deliberation, the jury returned a guilty verdict on all charges. The judge, citing the organized nature of the crimes and Cory's abuse of his public platform, sentenced him to the maximum penalty, life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Months after the sentencing, Rick Harrison disappeared from public view. The pawn shop operated with reduced hours, managed by longtime staff without any family presence. History Channel officially canceled Pawn Stars after 19 seasons, ending one of the longest-running reality shows on cable television. Then, a shocking interview left even longtime Las Vegas observers stunned. Sitting with Anderson Cooper in an exclusive CNN interview, Rick finally spoke out, looking gaunt and with shaky hands throughout the conversation. He confirmed the rumors that many had suspected. "Yes, the rumors are true. My son is serving a life sentence, and yes, I have known about his troubles for many years." In this candid and uncensored conversation, Rick revealed his own struggles with guilt and responsibility. "I pushed him too far. I expected too much. The show put pressure on all of us, but especially Cory. He was just a kid when we started, and suddenly he became famous, had money, and people used him. I should have protected him better." What shocked many the most was Rick's admission that the problems began in Season 4 of the show. The truth is, Cory started having problems in Season 4. We covered it up, helped him privately, and thought it was handled. But fame is like a magnifying glass. It turns small problems into big ones. By the time I realized how bad it had gotten, it was too late. The interview ended with Rick apologizing to the fans. "We've come into your homes for many years. You trusted us, thought you knew us. I'm sorry we weren't what you thought. I'm sorry I failed as a father, and I'm especially sorry to those affected by what happened. It's something I'll carry for the rest of my life." Rick Harrison's life, from a famous TV star to the painful upheavals, has become a story that makes many reflect. Even though he has lost everything, can he find peace again? Stay tuned for updates on his ongoing journey through these difficult times. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos.